Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. What are the odds that Chris Hanley in the live chat is saying that he needs to be part of the HODL gang, and Crypto KJ purchases a membership and Chris Hanley gets it? that was hysterical, and I couldn't stop laughing about it. That was great. Anyways, let's see who's here in the chat. We'll get into this. Mr. DJ Mines, my man, good to see you, buddy. We got Chris Hanley as always. Son of a Rabbit, good to see you. Andrew Masad, Charlie, good to see you, man. Good morning, sir. Steven Cicero, Crypto KJ again, thank you so much for the gifted membership. You didn't have to do that, but that was pretty epic, I'm not gonna lie. Nick K, what's up, dude? Nismo Miner, Andrew Masad, I think I already said that. Let's see, anybody else? Mining to fill my bags, I absolutely love that name. Dom G, Shakester, my man, Lawnmower Man, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Nismo Miner, anybody else I may have missed, I apologize. Let's get into this. All right, everything looks a little bit red today, but it's fine. It's only down like 1% or so. We got Bitcoin 58,588 bucks, Ethereum 2607. Looks like Solana's at 141 bucks, XRP 56 cents, ADA still at 33 cents. Near is dropped 5% because I bought some yesterday at $4. So anyways, $3.96. Let's see, Caspa's in. I've never seen Caspa gray. That was interesting. 16.7 as of right now, holding 16 cents, pretty strong actually. LTC 65 bucks. We have Dogecoin at 10 cents. Let's see, BNB 519. Not too bad. Nothing else really jumping out at me. I mean, Maddox at 40 cents if anybody cares. Crow, what's that at? 8 cents, 8.7. Not too bad, could be worse. Ton is at $6.46 if anybody cares. All right, crypto bubbles, see what the biggest earner of the day is. What is this? HTX 11.2%. I have no idea what this coin is. I have no idea what this coin is. HTX, has anybody heard of this? How is it ranked 63rd? I've never seen it. Weird. It's got a $1 billion market cap. Has anybody seen this coin? Let me know in the chat. That's crazy. Weird. Let's see, Render is down 5.2% today to $4.45. I still think Render is going to do pretty well. Celestia down 9% right now, $5.25. We got Sui down 10.4 at 82 cents, almost 83 cents. Dog with Hat is down to $1.43. Is anybody still buying this coin? Anybody? Let me know. Very interested to know. Near Protocol again down 5.7, but this is one that I just invested like 800 bucks in the other day, so, or yesterday rather. HNT up 2.1%. It's up to $6.75. Nothing else really jumping out at me, but yeah, this HTX one, I have no idea what this is. I don't know what this coin is, so let me know if anybody knows in the chat. Flare down 6.3% to $0.015. All right, so let's move on. Flashbang, Fear and Greed Index. Here we go. 27. Let me just refresh this. Yep, 27. Yesterday was a 29. We're still in the fear, which is a good thing. We need to kind of chug along in this chart for a little bit anyways, until we gradually climb our way up. We don't want to have like any crazy spikes, because again, it's not good. It's not good to go up. The faster you go up, the faster you come down, you know. All right, CoinGecko, top 10 coins by coin market cap over here. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lotto Staked Ether, Toncoin, and Dogecoin in 10th place at a $14.6 billion market cap. Cardano's right after Dogecoin in 11th place at $11.8 billion market cap. Let's see, scrolling down, Shiba still in 16th. Actually, I want to go see what the hell that coin was. Was it 60th place or something? HTX, that what it was? I don't see it. I'm gonna search that HTX coin real quick, just because I want to know what the hell it is. HTX DAO. It's on the Tron network. Max supply. Jesus, is that a trillion coins? I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this coin is, but it looks like it came out of freaking nowhere. How long has it been around? Oh god, it's been around for a while apparently. Well, I lied. February this year, so that's really not that long, but weird. Interesting. It's an exchange. That's what it is. Just reading about it. HTX Explorer with your Tron address, you might have got an airdrop. Oh, interesting. Okay, all right, so it's one of those things, kind of like a Jupiter deal. I gotcha. All right, that makes more sense now. Okay, well, Is what it is. All right, Litecoin 23rd place over here. Caspa still holding in the top 30. 26th place at a $4 billion market cap. Caspa, man, I can't wait to see what happens with Caspa. We need this thing to pump though, because these miners, they're going down hard every day. It's insane how much we're like not making on these, like, you know, the KS3s and all these big machines. It's crazy. I feel bad for the people that spent a bunch of money on a lot of stuff. Ethereum Classic 34th place, $18.67. I actually got reached out to by Jingle Mining this morning about the X16 QE, I think. So I told them I'd review it if they wanted to send it over, so we'll see about that. But I don't know. I made bank for my KS3. Yeah, DJ, you got to be early, right? Got to be early and to be able to make your money back easily. All right, let's get on to the mining segment of things. I want to watch a few things today. We got the Bitmain Antminer AL1 Pro over here releasing next month. We have 16.6 terahashes on this thing, $308 a day. The AL1 over here, 15.6 terahash unit, making $289 a day. It's going down. It's going down a lot. Oh, why is my mouse just got all glitchy on me. All right, we got the Bitmain Antminer KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making $25.89. It's crazy. Like, dude, you were making like $100 a day on the KS3, and now the KS5 is only making $25.89. It's crazy. It's the emission schedule. It's just so fast, and all the shit on the network now, all the miners on the network, it's crazy. We got the KS5 20 terahash unit making $24.65. The L9 Antminer over here, Dogecoin and Litecoin merge mining, $22.71 a day. Looking pretty good actually. KS5M, gonna go to that, $15 a day, $15.73 to be exact. Is this still 10 cents? Yeah, it is. All right, just double checking. The Gold Shell AL blocks over here, 720 gigahashes at 360 watts, $12.89 a day. Got my man Rudputs getting the hash rate to this. So shout out to you, man. I just put it on your wallet this morning. Dan R got the hash rate yesterday. So shout out to my VIPs. You guys are all awesome. Appreciate you all. We got the Ice River KS5L over here, 12 terahash unit, $10.95 a day. The Antminer L79050. Let's see what we got on this one. Look at that. I'm making $9.19 a day. You guys know I got that down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them. If you guys are interested, links in the description. 10 cents kilowatt hour down there for ASICs. It's a lot better than paying 30 cents like me up here. The Ice River Lithium ALO over here. These things supposed to be shipping this month, if I'm not mistaken. $7.40 a day for 100 watts, which is pretty amazing, actually. I can't wait to see this thing in action, or get it, right? I'm really nervous though still about a lithium. Once all these miners start coming out, I hope the price starts appreciating a bit. Let me see. I mean, the lithium's not a bad project, and it's stupid fast, to be honest. It's not looking good, in my opinion. 7 days, 1 month, 3 months. I think this was like the hype of all the miners coming out, and then it just slowly keeps, it's just dumping. I don't know, $1.41. I guess we'll have to see. What was the all-time high on a lithium? $3.86 about 6 months ago. Interesting. I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see where it goes. I don't know. Look at this. Oh, they got the new one on the list, the Gold Shell E-KA1M. August. This thing is supposed to be shipping, maybe, but they don't even have a price on their site yet, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. And I asked them why the hell there's no price on their site. Like, I'm like, what's the price of this thing? He said, we haven't released it yet. I said, why? And they're like, we're trying to like look at the market.
Stop the cap.
What do you mean look at the market? Just put the price on there. Like, what is happening? I don't know. I don't know. This thing, I hope this only comes out at like $2,000 or $1,000. It's definitely not gonna. It's probably gonna be like 6K. Just in general, 1800 watts, 5.5 terahashes, making $4.44 a day. It needs to be like $1,000 or $2,000 max. It can't be any more than that. If it is, then I don't know. It's not worth buying. It sucks. They're like a couple. If they were like 6 months earlier, that thing would have been freaking killing it. The Ice River KS3M over here. This is my man DJ was just saying he made a bunch of money on this thing. Look at this, 6 terahashes. You're only making $1.40
bruh
a day. That's terrible. And this is at friggin' 10 cents. If I go to 12, I think it's negative. It is negative 24 cents at 12 cents. What about, oh, go to 11. Make it 58 cents at 11 cents. Negative 24. That's crazy. Oh, you're the M. Oh, right. Sorry. What am I doing? Why did I hit back? Why am I going to sneakers? What the fuck is happening? KS3. Sorry. KS3. Here we go. All right. Sorry, you had the 8 terahash unit. My bad. $3.51 a day. This is at 12 cents. Oh, it's not bad. All right. So let's see. Where is it unprofitable? 17 cents is unprofitable. So that's still, I mean, you still make it something at least at like a normal, like the national average, right? 16, 17 cents. Not bad. All right, cool. All right. The KS3M is really bad though when you go up to 12 cents, but 10 cents still making $5 a day. Hell yeah. All right. So that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. 3,200 watts, 8 terahashes. That's kind of ass actually. Losing on the KS3M, you're losing 2 terahashes. It's 200 more watts. Why? That doesn't make any sense. I don't get that at all. Anyways, all right, moving on to GPUs. I want to watch a bunch of shit today, so let's get into it. Let's see. Pyron seems to be top of the charts with 4090. Ironfish and Pyron as well. Ergo, where the hell have you been, little buddy? Welcome to the party. Let's see what Ergo's doing. Has anybody still got Ergo? Remember when the shit was $20 a coin? Remember when it was $20 a coin and now it's 76 cents? Or it's 1872. It says all-time high over here on CoinGecko. This could be a little bit wrong, but it's 95% down. It's terrible. Hopefully this project comes back, but I don't know. I don't have high hopes for Ergo, but that's cool. At least it's most profitable right now on the 170HX. So anybody's got one of those. Zealous also. Ironfish and Pyron seems to be the consensus on the 4080 and the 4070 over here with Bitcoin Gold a little bit. Xano on the 7900 XT. Firo on a bunch of these. How's Firo doing? No one cares about Firo, but we'll look. Just because why not? Down 4%. Why did that not go? All right, there we go. $1.05. Must be a lot of people not mining it. The difficulty must be easy because it's been on a downwards trend and it's still profitable for mining. So who knows? It's probably not a lot of people mining it. Pyron, Ironfish for the 4060 Ti. Xano, it seems to be the consensus all the way down. Chlor actually on the 5600 XT. How's Chlor doing? Let's check out Chlor today, and that's the last one to look at. Chlor.ai down 5.7%, 59 cents. 59 cents. Go to the year. Just look. Yeah, Chlor's been taking a beating as well. I mean, this actually has use case though, so it's kind of we'll see, I guess. 44 cents all-time high. It's at 5 cents. Might be a good buying opportunity. I wish freaking Tangem had this. Shout out to Tangem if you guys are interested in them, by the way. I can't wait. I really can't wait to get this ring. This thing's sick. But code CCXD gets you 10% off, and I'm not sponsored by them. I just get a kickback for people that buy the wallets, so that's why I advertise it, and it is my favorite wallet, I promise. Let's check out CPUs real quick just before I get out of here. Zephyrus seems to be the top of the charts for these. What the hell is this? What's SPR? What is SPR? SPR. Spectre? What the hell is this? What is this? New coin? 4/10 of a penny? How long has this been around? July 2024, so it's kind of new. Is anybody mining this? Spectre? Anybody mining this? What's up, Yeti? Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. Spectre. Weird. And we'll go to Zephyr just to see where that's at. $1.62, down 2.5% on the day. This one's been taking a real shit too. I can't believe this thing's been at like 50 bucks before. That's crazy. All right, anyways, moving on to the news segment of things. Sorry, flashbang. Check this out. Crypto miners made $100,000 from mining at an Airbnb for 3 weeks. The guests ran up a $1,500 electric bill. Bruh. Airbnb hosts make a no crypto mining rule a rule you shouldn't have to make, but you do. Shout out to whoever the hell made that much money in 3 weeks. Like, what the f are you mining? Please let me know. A popular Airbnb host has been forced to implement a bizarre new rule when it comes to renting your house to guests. No crypto mining. The change came after guests amassed a $1,500 electric bill during their stay. The guests were seen hauling out at least 10 computers and also set up an improvised electrical vehicle charging station. What in the fuck? After the experience, The property owner Ashley took to her TikTok channel to explain the weirdest Airbnb rule I had to implement as a host. She said the guests left home perfectly clean and a 5-star review after their 3-week stay. The problem came later when she received the electric bill for the property. The guest electric bill amounted to $1,500 during their stay. Ashley checked the external security cameras for the property and watched the visitors haul out at least 10 computers when they departed. They'd also set up a charging station for their electric vehicle. Dude, that's freaking crazy. Oh, is this it? Oh, can I watch this? Hell yeah. Let's see. Let's
talk about the weirdest rule that I have at my Airbnb, because I like to think that I am reasonable for the most part, but I have a weird rule. I had a guest, checked in, they came for 3 weeks. No big deal. They left it in amazing state. 5 stars out the way. No issues. Except when the electric bill came. The guest not only set up an electric vehicle station, which usually is expensive, it's minimal, that guest also mined crypto. And so I looked back at the footage when they were leaving. We don't have internal cameras. Don't everybody have a heart attack? And they were bringing out like 10 different computers. So it was cheaper for them to rent a house to pay for that electricity. So it ended up, my electric bill ended up being $1,500 for that 3-week stay. So I went back and I charged them and I explained, and I had to fight that on Airbnb, but that's one of my weird rules is you cannot mine crypto or set up an electric vehicle station.
That's crazy. I wonder, like, how does she know they made $100,000? Like, I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like that's not right. I feel like that's just a clickbait title, to be honest. Like, how do you know they made $100,000? Let me see. They done during the stay. They also They also revealed they made more than $100,000 mining cryptocurrency during the stay alone. So don't feel bad for them being forced to pay $1,500 bill. How could you have done that unless you were solo mining something? And if you were doing it with Bitcoin, solo mining Bitcoin, say, you can't, I mean, you can't do that with regular computers. You need ASICs, right? For one, you must have been like, you would have been hitting it hard, and they need 240. Like, there's no way. You can't, like, there's no way they made 100K. I don't care what you were solo mining for 3 weeks, you're not making 100K. Not a chance. So that's a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that happens. People definitely use Airbnbs for crypto mining. So that is what it is. All right, let's move on. The Fed needs to undo the damage of rising rates too high. Let's see what CNBC television has to say. This was posted about an hour ago. Let's do it.
For a look at this week's economic data and how it may impact the Fed's inflation battle, let's bring in Campbell Harvey, professor of finance with Duke University's Fuqua School of Business. Cam, thanks for joining us. Earlier this morning, I credited you with inventing the yield curve, so congratulations. That was a mistake I made.
Thank you.
But you are the person who originated the idea of the yield curve as a recession indicator, and I'd like to ask you to update us on how that's going, or not.
Yeah, so the yield curve has got a record of 8 out of 8 with no false signals going back to the 1960s. It is a leading indicator, and the lead time varies between 6 months and 23 months. We've been inverted since November of 22, and we're about in the 20th month. So again, this is a leading indicator. And I do want to contrast the yield curve inversion indicator with the so-called SOM rule, which is not a leading indicator. It's a lagging indicator. And I think people misunderstand that.
I'm going to bump this up to 1.2.
So you're saying you still have 3 months to get this right, if I'm not mistaken?
So not exactly. So historically, the lead time has been 6 months to 23 months. So if it goes 23, 24, 25, I'm not sure, that's just within what could happen.
So I guess my question has always been, Cam, and it's really a pleasure to have you on to talk about this. Does the yield curve, the inversion of the yield curve itself cause the recession? What is the relationship of this inversion to the ensuing recession?
So originally, when I published this idea in the 1980s, so it's been a long time, this indicator would pick up expectations of economic growth. So if we think about interest rates, they contain expected inflation, but also an expected real interest rate, and that's linked to expected real activity. However,
real quick, mining to fill my bag. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for being a member for 4 months. That unfortunately started to liquidate my GPUs. It's a sad day. You know what? I think everybody's kind of in that boat. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, dude, you got to do what you got to do. It is what it is, right? Just, yeah, you got to eat first. Bills and food and family. That shit comes first. Mining is like last thing on the table that you need to worry about. So if you got to sell shit, dude, sell it. Who cares? You can always get back into it. Don't worry about it.
Recently, the model, I think, has changed, and the yield curve is more causal. So people see an inverted yield curve, it changes their behavior. So as a CEO, when you see an inverted yield curve, you're just less likely to pull the trigger on a bet the farm type of investment in the face of inverted yield curve, which is 8 out of 8. So you don't want to take that risk. So that investment is decreased. Employment, we saw these layoffs, 5–10% of the workforce. So the yield curve now is a causal mechanism. And I believe it has slowed economic growth, and it's a risk management tool.
Cam, I've heard an economist describe this moment when we're going to be cutting interest rates as the most dangerous time. To what extent does that feed into your theory here, in that when interest rates are changing and say perhaps about to go down, you actually cause more delay in investment decisions?
Yeah, so uncertainty is bad in general. So uncertainty holds back economic decisions. As for the cut, really what the Fed needs to do is to undo the damage of raising the rate too high. So they've overshot, in my opinion. Indeed, they inverted the yield curve. So you talk about a causal mechanism, they inverted the yield curve and have pushed us towards slower growth. So what they need to do is quickly, and this should have happened far earlier, move the rate down, hopefully substantially, at least 50 basis points in September.
Cam, I'm curious in terms of it becoming a causal indicator at this point, because I was going to ask you, with each passing month, you have to wonder whether or not that 8-for-8 streak is going to be broken. The fact that it's moved to become a causal indicator and has actually altered how people act within the economy and has altered the path of economic growth, could that recession actually be averted at this point?
Yes, hopefully. So actually hope my indicator is wrong. So nobody wants a recession. But I do believe that you're correct, and this is an important insight, that often a popular indicator that does really well stops working. And I think that what my indicator is doing is people see it, they see the track record, it changes behavior, it actually slows growth, but in the context of risk management, this is really important. So companies are not going to be surprised if a recession starts later this year or early 2025. They're actually ready for it. And what we don't want is a surprise recession where companies have to slash their workforce. As soon as you do that, that makes things worse. It deepens the recession. So think of this indicator as actually slowing economic growth, but leading to a situation where we can have a downturn without a hard landing. So slower growth, rather than something like the global financial crisis, which nobody wants.
Cam, we have to go, but you said 50 in September. How aggressively should the Fed be bringing down interest rates here?
So I will be very disappointed if they don't lower the rates by 50 basis points. Real-time inflation, if you use, let's say, Zillow or Apartment List, is 2% or below already.
Right.
So there's no excuse for not cutting at least 50 basis points. Indeed, they should have delayed the last meeting by 2 days to get that important employment data.
But I know what you're thinking about for September. I mean, over the course of this year or so, how much should they be taking off the funds? Or where should we be a year from now, in your opinion?
Oh, in the low 3 range. So 3.5.
Wow. So 200 or so off of where we are now.
Oh, wow.
A little less, yes.
Wow. Interesting. All right, let's move on. We're going to get into the altcoin season stuff and the worst economic data stuff with a couple videos in a minute. All right, Kamala Harris to unveil an economic plan with a focus on cutting costs. Let's see what they got to say over here about this BS.
Vice President Kamala Harris set to unveil a portion of her economic agenda later today, and early details, they are coming out. And who has them but Megan Casella? She joins us now with more. What's the plan, Megan?
Good morning, Steve. It's a big plan, so we now have the full details on Harris's economic agenda. It's focused in 4 parts on taxes, healthcare, housing, and food. On the tax front, just this hour, we're learning Harris is calling to restore the child tax credit and to expand it to provide up to $6,000 for families with kids under 1. She also wants to expand the earnings.
Why they gotta be under 1? What the hell's that bullshit?
Income tax credit and reduce taxes on health insurance premiums. On healthcare, she wants to cap the cost of insulin at $35 and cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 for everyone, not just seniors. She's also vowing to increase competition in the pharmaceutical industry and to cancel medical debt for millions of people. On housing, she wants to use tax credits to incentivize construction of 3 million homes in her first term and provide up to $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time buyers. She also wants to ban corporate price gouging in the grocery industry. So clearly here, guys, this is a...
They are pulling out all the stops to make her president.
left-leaning populist agenda that expands on and actually takes further some of President Biden's policies. It'll be celebrated by progressives, but it has already earned some criticism from some economists who compare it to price controls and who say it would exacerbate supply issues, especially in food and in housing. And for Trump's part, he's offering some of his own ideas this week, including cutting electricity and energy costs by half within a year by drilling for more oil. And he wants to permanently extend his 2017 tax cuts and cut regulation while imposing that minimum 10% tariff on all imports. Again here, of course, economists have concerns. The tax cuts would dramatically increase the debt, while tariffs would drive up prices. But clearly there's still a long way to go before any of this becomes reality. It does show us, though, the priorities that each candidate is carrying into November. Andrew, back over to you guys.
I'm looking forward to a cheaper electric rate. That'd be nice. Instead of paying 30 cents. I think it literally doubled since I moved here 4 years ago. It's insane. All right, why Goldman Sachs is jumping headfirst into crypto while rivals retreat. Let's see what they got to say. Guys, that like button. Stop being lazy. Jesus.
Mackenzie Sagalos now joins us with new
I hate asking, but YouTube makes me.
Reporting on the Wall Street firm that's getting more and leaning into that Bitcoin trade. Mac, who is it?
Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
So this week we got a fresh take on what institutional adoption looks like with those U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs. And Goldman Sachs added $418 million across 7 different U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs, more than half of that in BlackRock, the IBIT fund. And what's interesting is that it was just in April that their wealth management unit CIO told the Wall Street Journal that there wasn't much client appetite for that product. Clearly that tune has changed. You've seen other banks jump in, HSBC, Bank of America.
Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley. But what's interesting is that they actually paired their holdings in these spot Bitcoin products.
They just pitch them more to their clients, apparently, right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, as of the last week, there are 15,000 FAs are now allowed to pitch it out to certain clients.
Now, that's who's leaning in, getting more into it. At the same time, there's always a yang to the yin. Who's kind of backing out or kind of paring back?
Well, I mean, talking about Morgan Stanley again, they had a $270 million position in Q1. They pared that down to $189 million, switched out their Grayscale shares for BlackRock. That's a common trend. But then you're also seeing names in the hedge fund space, like Millennium Management, which remains the biggest single holder of BlackRock's IBIT fund. But they're down to $1.1 billion from $2 billion. And that's also, you've got Elliott Management completely exiting their position. So there are people paring back their stake, JP Morgan as well, though they had a pretty tepid share to start with.
The trends now, fund flow wise, we know that they're the bigger established, I shouldn't say the bigger players, not as established because nobody is really that established right now besides Grayscale. But the fund flow situation at Grayscale versus BlackRock versus Fidelity has been very, very different over the course of the last 6 to 9 months. What exactly is happening here? So
Grayscale came in with this huge head start, and they had BlackRock eclipse them in terms of AUM in May with those spot Bitcoin ETFs. And remember, it was Grayscale that fought the SEC in court to pave the way for the approval of these products. And you saw it. I mean, we already knew that across Grayscale's 2 spot Bitcoin ETFs, they had net outflows of more than $19 billion. But now we got optics in terms of who was turning over their books. Like I mentioned, Goldman Sachs.
Are they just moving from Grayscale to Vanguard and BlackRock?
Exactly. And that's what we couldn't quite tell just from net outflows, but looking at these filings, comparing Q1 to Q2, a lot of people getting out of GBTC, getting into IBIT.
Interesting. What in the hell? They just cut that off super fast. All right, moving on. Senator Chuck Schumer supports passage of crypto rules in pro-Harris town hall. Interesting. All right, let's see what they got to say again. Crypto World, CNBC Television. Let's do it. Actually, first, Andrew Masad, happy birthday, buddy. Hopefully, you're not really 70. I think Steven Cicero is trolling you, but happy birthday.
Today, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer boosts hopes for new crypto regulation as Democrats court crypto voters. The SEC gives the go-ahead to an ETF that promises a 175% daily return on MicroStrategy stock. And Sylvia Jablonski of Defiance ETFs explains where crypto prices could be headed after recent volatility.
He's 52, not 70.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Crypto prices are mixed this morning after new economic data shows that the U.S. consumer remains strong. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin ticked higher, but still traded at $59,000. At the same time, Ether dipped 0.25% to $26.68. Meanwhile, Matic rose more than 1% to 42 cents.
Again, all those prices were yesterday afternoon, so.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Big-name Democrats courted crypto voters in a Crypto for Harris Zoom call hosted by the Crypto Council for Innovation. Senators Kirsten Gillibrand and Debbie Stabenow were on the call, along with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Now, he made waves when he said that he believes the Senate can realistically pass a bipartisan crypto regulation bill before the end of the year. Schumer said, quote, passing legislation this year is absolutely possible, even in these divided times, and added that his goal is to bring together senators on both sides of the aisle to pass sensible legislation. But Schumer didn't indicate which bills he would support specifically. The Crypto for Harris call mimics several other Zoom meetings that have raked in millions of dollars for Dems since Vice President Harris announced her intention to win the party's nomination. Now, also joining the call were Senate candidates Congresswoman Elisa Slotkin, who's looking to replace the retiring Senator Stabenow, and then Congressman Adam Schiff, looking to win the seat in California. Next, the SEC has approved a leveraged MicroStrategy ETF. MSTX hit U.S. markets on Thursday morning, and the fund tracks the returns of MicroStrategy's daily performance. And because MicroStrategy is a major holder of Bitcoin, it also tracks the performance of Bitcoin too. Leveraged ETFs seek to amplify the performance of assets by using debt, and MSTX hopes to provide a 175% return on MicroStrategy's performance.
Damn, that could be dangerous. A leveraged MicroStrategy ETF. Is anybody into that? Let me know in the chat.
Now, for our main story, Crypto World's Tanea McKeel spoke to Sylvia Jablonski of Defiance ETFs, the firm behind the leveraged MicroStrategy ETF. They talked about the new fund, and Sylvia also weighs in on where crypto markets could be headed.
Exciting news about MSTX. I want to know why Defiance decided to launch this fund and why now?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Great to be here. It's exciting news for the crypto world, I would say, and it's a plain old stock, right? It's not a coin. It's not a token. It's just a plain old stock that trades on on an exchange. And so the reason that we launched it is because MicroStrategy is essentially this dual opportunity to get exposure to both the AI trade. They have business intelligence tools, data analytics. They're part of the AI world and innovation, and really benefiting from that. But they also have a massive holding in Bitcoin, and it's become a Bitcoin proxy. Michael Saylor is one of the big kind of prophets and advocates of Bitcoin out there. And I think that people trade his stock because he invests most of his cash in Bitcoin. So that's kind of reason number one. We thought the good, kind of like dual partnership between AI and Bitcoin was cool and didn't exist out there. But the bigger thing is, if you look back at the performance, we've been watching this for a long time and really wanted to be sure that we were, seeing it right. If you look historically at, Bitcoin, or even just like this year, right, at the difference between Bitcoin, the leveraged Bitcoin ETFs, the single, beta Bitcoin ETFs versus MicroStrategy, it's outperforming most of them by 3 times or more. So for example, some of the single stock, single beta Bitcoin ETFs are up, 20 to 30%, and MicroStrategy is up about 100% year to date. And so it has this weird, relationship with Bitcoin where it seems to both track in terms of it's up when Bitcoin's up and kind of down when Bitcoin's down, but also outperform. So we just thought it would be great to lever that up and give investors the opportunity to have a different way of getting at Bitcoin.
And can you say why you do see those outsized returns? Like mechanically, what is going on there? And that would make somebody want to buy MicroStrategy over Bitcoin for the bigger returns, even though they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the additional propelling of. It's almost like the Elon. He's got like the Elon Musk effect, right? A lot of people love Tesla because of Elon Musk. So I think you get some Michael Saylor type of effect. I think you get the AI trade, right? So it's definitely competing in the world of NVIDIA, AMD, Taiwan Semiconductors, all the different semiconductor stocks and chip companies and visual AI analytic tech types of companies are performing really well this year because of that. So I think it gets a little bit of extra special sauce on top of what crypto does.
So who is this designed for, and who do you think will be coming to this fund? And is it safe to assume it's like a retail day trader type? I mean, there are so many different reasons and ways now for people to invest in Bitcoin, and people do get pretty philosophical about it. So who is this fund for?
Yeah, they sure do. And I think it's for all of those people, right? So I think the short-term tactical trader is oftentimes the most common type of investor in these funds. You know, they're looking, they might not necessarily only hold it for a day, but they're making a decision every single day as to whether or not to hold it for the next day. So, you know, levered inverse ETFs work really well in trending markets. You might have, you know, substantial losses in kind of range-bound volatile markets. And so it's important for investors who trade levered inverse ETFs to understand how they work. But over time, we've also seen, you know, the VIX has fallen back under 20 again, and it's you know, we only had a couple of days where it actually.
Is she gonna put her phone on silent, or is it just gonna continue to ding?
Spiked up and was doing anything meaningful, and so for years now we've had very low volatility in the markets. And so when investors have conviction and they believe that, you know, a particular stock or index is going to go upward with low volatility, a lot of times they will hold a levered ETF for a longer period of time. But, you know, we always put that disclaimer out there. You should make that decision daily, monitor your positions, and understand the risks, right? Volatility can come back tomorrow.
So we've got all these ETFs on the market, and we've seen the track record between Bitcoin itself and MicroStrategy. What's going on more broadly in the market? And, you know, this ultimately gets back to what Bitcoin and MicroStrategy are going to be doing for the rest of the year. What is at play right now?
I think, you know, that Monday that, you know, brought shock and awe into
that
market, Monday that came after that Friday with the jobs number, right? I think a lot of investors became a little bit spooked and started selling. You had, you know, that coupled with the Japan carry trade, which kind of, you know, offset some of the trading volumes for a couple of days too. And so I think now that we're past that, we're back to seeing that nothing has fundamentally changed in the last week or so. And, you know, there are events that can always come out of left field, but overall, you know, the jobs numbers are kind of back to, you know, it's okay kind of levels. The CPI readings were good, almost better than expected in some cases, you know, so we're good on CPI, we're good on PPI. The consumer is slowing a little bit, but still spending sentiment is decent. And we're about to go into rate cuts. So I think that all of this is supportive for the market. This is that funky August, September period where, you know, kind of anything goes tends to be a bad time for markets. But I think that, you know, at least in the near term, earnings are holding up, you know, the data's holding up. I think we have that soft landing. We'll see what happens after the election in 2025. But I think we're okay for now. And so that you know, bodes well for risk assets like MicroStrategy and Bitcoin.
And yeah, so seasonally, this is kind of a sleepy period. We expect, you know, September to not be so great, and then things tend to get better for the rest of the year. You mentioned the election, and we do have that. How much of a catalyst, or like how strong of a catalyst do you see that in this middle period between now and November? Obviously, when Trump came out and made all of his big overtures about it, that was a very those were very market moving comments that he was making. And of course, we don't really know much about Harris's stance on crypto, but, you know, in terms of the in-between period, is there any part of that theme that you would be watching closely as a market mover before, you know, we actually get the result in November?
Yeah, I don't know how much the election is actually, you know, going to impact crypto, but I do think that there will be this kind of positive momentum sentiment type of trade that comes out if it seems as though, you know, Trump is really running on that platform and he continues to support it and he gets elected. I think you get some momentum around that. You know, whether or not that actually changes the overall value or growth trajectory of Bitcoin in the long term, I don't know. But I do think if you get that, you know, Republican nod there, you'll probably see crypto prices start to rally around the election. You know, on the other hand, if Vice President Harris comes in and starts, you know, tooting the crypto horn, then it might do well either way.
Sure. And then in terms of, you know, a big break to the upside, when are you expecting to see that? Because you know, we have characterized this market as a choppy period, and that sideways chop could continue for some time. When do you expect to see a meaningful break upward?
Yeah, I think, you know, when we get out of this seasonality type of situation, we get that first rate cut in September, October, November could be interesting for crypto. You know, you might start to see, and I would say for the NASDAQ too, right? I'm just expecting risk assets to kind of hold up into year end, and crypto should really participate in that. And, you know, based on what you and I were just talking about, if you get that little tailwind from the election, that'll probably give a little, you know, sense of or you know, an assistance for a breakout anyway in the short term.
Okay, that's all for crypto.
All right, shout out to them for that. All right, let's move on. Anthony Pompliano, worst economic idea of 2020. 24 revealed. Let's see what he's got to say over here. This was posted about 17 hours ago. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I'm going to bump it up to 1.2, I think.
What's up, guys? Bang, bang. Recently, Vice President Kamala Harris, who's now running to be president of the United States, came out and she put forward a plan to go after the price gouging that's happening in the food industry.
Prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high. You know it and I know it. And when I am president, it will be a day one priority to fight to bring down prices. I will take on big corporations that engage in illegal price gouging.
This sounds like a great idea on the surface because most people go and as they ring up their groceries in the grocery store, they see that their bills are getting higher and higher. Inflation has been ravaging the middle class of America, and people feel like all of their hard-earned cash, they don't know where it's going. But of course, we have to dig deeper and try to understand what exactly is driving this inflation and higher food prices, and why is it that actually a plan to go after price gouging is probably not going to have the desired outcome. In fact, I would even make the argument that going after the price gouging is just communism and socialism wrapped in a cloak. Let me explain. So if you go and you take a look at what's happening in the food industry, supermarkets in particular are notorious for having razor-thin margins. They're not like a normal software business that operates on 60, 70, or 80% margins. Instead, they simply operate on 2, 3, or 4% margins. Imagine trying to run a business that has hundreds, thousands, or millions of customers and simply eking out a 2% profit. It's an incredibly difficult business to be in, but these supermarkets have been doing it for decades. And so the idea that they are price gouging on 2 or 4% margins is really, really hard to wrap your head around. On top of that, there are claims that there's been consolidation, let's say in the meat industry, where there might only be 4 or 5 major meat producers. And so there's a comment that there's a lack of competition, that lower competition then leads to the ability to increase prices. Unfortunately, none of this is actually true though. Instead, higher food prices are part of a much more macro trend of higher inflation. Simply what we see is that there are inputs to every single process. The cost of those inputs are going up. And so if inputs go up, then the cost of the output, the food, goes up as well. Now, when you see what Vice President Harris is recommending, the idea of going after price gouging is actually something that seems more like a marketing stunt because price gouging is illegal in almost every state. Yes, it is true there's not a federal law banning price gouging, but usually price gouging is in times of crisis. But what is being described right now as price gouging is simply grocery stores raising their prices to accommodate for all of the increased cost that they have to experience. So if President Harris was elected, what exactly would this look like? Well, the first thing that President Harris would do would be to issue some sort of price cap. You cannot increase the price of certain food above a certain level. This is like the government saying that they can run the grocery store better than the entrepreneur and the executives at the grocery company. It is a disaster waiting to happen. But it's not the first time that this would have happened in the United States. If you go back to President Nixon, he actually did issue some sort of price cap. And in those price caps, he also included price wage growth limits as well. Now, what we've seen, whether it was President Nixon or we have seen in Soviet Russia or many other places around the world, is that anytime a government intervenes in the market, they place artificial caps in various prices. What you get is you actually get a worsening economic condition. What do I mean? Today's episode is brought to you by Crossfire.
Hold on. Let's skip this. No affiliation. I don't know what this is.
Foundation/users. Go check it out today. Well, if you look at a market, there's supply and there's demand. As supply increases, demand usually responds. Price is a function of supply and demand. So if there is a low supply and high demand, you usually get prices going up, and vice versa is true. But here, what is ultimately happening is the government is trying to cap the price of the food. If you cap the price of the food, you then have now taken that market dynamic and you have frozen one of the key components that helps us reach equilibrium. And so usually what ends up happening is it leads to food scarcity and actually hurts people more than it helps them. Literally, communism and socialism, this is a core tenet, is that the government will step into the market and is going to prevent people in the private market from responding to market forces. The government can plan your life better than you can live it. What we need to be careful of is that as we watch these ideas get presented here in the United States, there is a truth to what the politicians are saying. The food prices are too high and they're accelerating, but it's not going to be solved by price caps. It's not going to be solved by any sort of government intervention. Instead, what we need to be able to take a look at is how can we actually bring inflation down? How can we bring the rate of growth of prices for food down as well? Well, the first thing that we've got to do is we have to stop flooding the economy with the printing of money. We have to stop manipulating interest rates. And then we have to help market participants in the food sector, specifically anyone who produces food. We have to give them policies and regulation that encourages them to produce more food. If you're able to increase the production of food, then prices naturally will find an equilibrium and they will come down. Instead of simply focusing on the things that are important and allowing for the market participants to solve the market problem, the government is now saying that they are going to step in, that they are going to eliminate quote unquote price gouging, and then that they are going to put these price caps in place. If we watch this occur, I am telling you that if you can just study history, you already know the end result. Food scarcity, exploding prices, and hunger will spread throughout a population. Now that seems a far way off in the United States, thankfully. But we can watch throughout history for centuries. When price caps on food have been introduced, it actually hurts the people. It does not help them. And so what I think ends up being really important here is when you see something like Vice President Harris and the potential President Harris economic plan, you need to understand why are they doing it? Food prices are too high. You need to understand what they're putting forward, price caps, and then you need to understand what the possible outcomes would be, which in this case would be negative. Now, this isn't the first time in recent memory that we've had the government intervene in the market. The most egregious example is probably back in 2020. COVID was spreading throughout the world, and all of a sudden the United States decided they were going to lock citizens at home. When they did that, people got scared, and they went into the financial markets and they sold all their assets. As they sold those assets, we saw a massive crash across stocks and bonds, real estate, commodities, and many other financial instruments. There was fear that was spreading and accelerating throughout investors' minds. And so the US government stepped in and they said, don't worry, we're going to bail ourselves out of this. They put interest rates down to 0%. That's an artificial suppression of the cost of money. And then they printed trillions of dollars and they had enough capital sloshing around the financial system. And that created high inflation. And so during that manipulation, during that government intervention, we saw a government that tried to be smarter than the market. We saw a government that was trying to figure out what the potential solutions would be. But the government doesn't understand market problems with market solutions. Instead, the government only understands government solutions. And so the government decided to step in, suppress interest rates, and print trillions of dollars. But you can't step in and intervene in the market without having negative ramifications. Nothing is as smart as the free market. But the government continues to forget that lesson over and over and over again. And so whether we are talking about the price of food, whether we are talking about the COVID monetary policy decisions, whether we are talking about the unaffordable housing situation in America, or many other issues that we face, we must continue to be persistent in our pursuit of market solutions, not government solutions. The government has a job and has a place. It can do many great things for people, but stepping in and trying to solve market problems with government solutions has almost never worked because ultimately the market is a very complex machine. The economy has so many inputs that one single actor like the US government is not going to be able to design a solution that can accommodate all of the different complexities. And so as we continue to experience these problems, we must continue to demand that there are market solutions for market problems. The US government stepping in and intervening will only hurt people more, and it will cause more chaos, more pain, more volatility, and more issues. Vice President Harris, yes, the food is too expensive. Yeah. People don't want to pay more and more at the grocery store. But going after price caps is not the solution. The government should simply encourage food producers to produce more food, flood the US economy with cheaper food so that then we can actually get prices down and we can get people back to being able to buy 3 meals a day for their families with an affordable price tag on it. That's the solution. Produce more food, not cap the price of what the private market sells it for.
Perfect. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what? That's funny that he said something. Well, they were talking about the food. I went shopping yesterday to grab some groceries, and I walked in the like the mac and cheese aisle, and I was like, oh, let me get those little cups, right? The ones that like you just throw in the microwave and they make like instant mac and cheese, because it's easy when you're like on the go with like camping or something. I'm like, let me grab those. I picked it up. I was like, these things are $6 for 4 of them. What? I was like, hell no. I threw them back on the shelf. I'm like, that's absolutely not happening. It's just crazy. I couldn't believe how expensive they were. Just everything in general is outrageous now. All right, let's see. Over here on Altcoin Daily, when will Altcoin season start? Let's see what he's got to say here, guys. I'm not sure if there's any shills in here. Hopefully not, but let's do it.
We're in the calm before the storm. Once Bitcoin hits 70K, once Ethereum reclaims 4K, altcoins are going to explode. Every cycle after Bitcoin clearly surpasses
There you go. That's actually a perfect chart. That is a perfect chart to show. You have a little bit of resistance, a little bit of choppy waters, and then boner candle. Like every single time. It's crazy.
all-time highs, altcoins always explode. This happens for two reasons. It's called the wealth effect. Bitcoin and Ethereum holders feel rich and they realize, well, I can't get as good of a percentage returns on these high caps anymore. They feel rich, so they put a percentage of their earnings into the lower market cap plays. And then also new participants entering the market.
Dude, the potato head glasses. What the fuck? There it is again. Every single day we see these fucking glasses. I don't understand it, but that guy's definitely got some lenses going. Holy shit. He's got like, you know, glass Coke bottles. That's insane.
In droves, as they usually do, they feel like they missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, the high caps, and they put their money.
Oh my God. That is a meme. Hold on, I gotta screenshot this. Hold on. I had to screenshot that. That's great. That's gonna be an emoji for sure on the channel.
Money into the lower cap plays. There is a lot of bearish sentiment right now. But keep in mind, we're consolidating near all-time highs. We're going to break over soon. Time is ticking. We keep grinding higher. I just want to show you what's going on in the world. 45% of Bitcoin's supply has not moved in 6 months. This metric used to be 70%, 80%. Right now, it's 45%. When we get to the top of the market, this metric will drop down to 10, 20%, maybe even single digits. Now, until then, so many people, entities, businesses, governments, they continue to build, and more importantly, they continue to buy. Asia's MicroStrategy, Metaplanet, buys another 500 million worth of Bitcoin. They're doing the same thing Michael Saylor is, basically, and this is the Michael Saylor of Metaplanet. So Metaplanet, a Japanese public company recently known for its steady Bitcoin accumulation, has acquired an additional 500 million worth of Bitcoin. This latest acquisition brings Metaplanet's total Bitcoin holdings to around 303 Bitcoin, valued at nearly 18 million. This move came after the company announced last week it secured $1 billion loan dedicated entirely to purchasing Bitcoin. Metaplanet also revealed plans to raise another 70 million through a stock rights offering, allocating approximately 58 million for further Bitcoin investment. Goldman Sachs is a Bitcoin buyer. Goldman Sachs now holds 238 million in BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF shares. Matthew McDermott, the bank's global head of digital assets, called the approval of the spot Bitcoin products in the US a big psychological turning point. So Goldman Sachs is among the Wall Street titans backing BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Goldman Sachs was named an authorized participant in BlackRock's ETF in March after reportedly engaging in discussions to take the role earlier in the year. The holdings of Goldman Sachs position Goldman as BlackRock's third largest holder, right behind Millennium, right behind Capula. Millennium holds approximately 844 million in BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Capula holds around 253 million. And in addition to Goldman Sachs being one of the largest holders of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, Goldman Sachs also reportedly holds large positions in Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF, with around 1.5 million shares valued at 80 million and over 660 shares of Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF valued at 35 million. The bank's investment portfolio also includes over 56 million in Invesco Galaxy's Bitcoin ETF, as well as stakes in other funds like Bitwise, WisdomTree, ARK21 shares. In an interview with Fox Business last September, McDermott said the approval of spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs would enhance liquidity and attract the universe of pension funds, insurance firms, and other institutional investors to crypto. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Just in the state of Wisconsin, Investment Board's investment in BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF has grown to nearly 100 million, with an increase of almost 500,000 shares since the last 13F filing. And Wisconsin is just one of the multitude of states doing this, and we're seeing more and more states doing this. The fact is, Bitcoin has been profitable for 96.2% of its life, as Bitcoin is consolidating near all-time highs. Over the past 5,109 days, Bitcoin has been profitable for 4,915 days. So it's not timing the market necessarily, as it is being part of this monetary and tech revolution time in the market. We are on the precipice of a huge explosion. Take a look at the chart. This feels eerily similar to August through October of last year. Retail interest is evaporating fast, apathy among existing market participants, lack of a clear narrative, and the Bitcoin price chart looks identical to.
Look at that. That's crazy. It does look identical. That's nuts. I mean, there's a lot more shit going on this year too. But yeah, August through October is always ass in the crypto market. 1,000%.
Ironically, this is probably the best time to lock in, accumulate, study new protocols. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Last time that we had a period of sustained contraction in 2023, the subsequent move upwards was violent. Just have to hold on and stay focused until then. Like I said, a big move is coming. I wonder if non-Bitcoin holders know about this chart and know about what happens every time Bitcoin clearly breaks through all-time highs. This is what most people consider being rich and wealthy is. This is what I consider being rich and wealthy is. And
yep, there it is. Hold on, let's go back to that for a second. This is the one that took down the Titanic. You guys remember? The shit you couldn't see under the surface.
This is what I consider being rich and wealthy is.
Perfect.
And expert Arthur Hayes echoes my thoughts, says altcoin season will return when Bitcoin hits 70K and Ethereum hits 4K.
I actually think that's a very good prediction, and that is probably true. Once Bitcoin hits 70K, I think the altcoins will start popping.
BitMEX
sure.
CEO Arthur Hayes believes altcoins will explode when Bitcoin surpasses 70K and Ethereum surpasses 4,000. In a recent blog post, the crypto billionaire said that both Bitcoin and Ethereum have shown resilience despite recent market correction, largely due to structural support from inflows from US-listed exchange-traded funds. Hayes also claimed that Solana could resume its uptrend and reach over $250. However, he argued that the market-wide impact of a Solana rally is far less significant compared to the wealth effect generated by Bitcoin and Ethereum due to their large market caps. Hayes suggests that a dollar liquidity-driven rally in Bitcoin and ETH towards the end of the year in 2024 will set the stage for the return of an alt season or widespread surge in altcoin prices.
Dan R says, once Ethereum hits 4K, we'll see a sell-off. Yeah, you know what? That's probably true because that's its all-time high. It hasn't hit it yet, right? So once once it hits the all-time high, it's definitely going to have a retracement for sure. Just because, you know, again, Ethereum didn't get there, but Bitcoin did, so.
And we see plenty of entities nowadays positioning themselves for exactly this. You know, Brazil is launching the world's first spot Solana ETF ahead of global markets. According to IBM's former blockchain growth lead, a potential Solana ETF approval in the US could act as a significant price catalyst for Solana.
That's crazy. Solana's getting an ETF in Brazil.
According to Dave, the co-founder of Palisade, a Ripple-backed digital asset custody platform, he says, Brazil has been one of the pro-crypto jurisdictions since they first introduced the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF years before the US did. It has also kept up with Europe's friendly stance with respect to its ETPs or ETFs. We first saw the Solana ETP in Switzerland some time ago. ETPs are just like ETFs. It has also been trading in German markets. People in the US have been asking for a Solana ETF, and now they might get it. PayPal's stablecoin supply on Solana actually just surpassed Ethereum. Since PayPal's expansion to Solana in May of 2024, the supply of their stablecoin on Solana has reached 377 million tokens, overtaking the 356 million tokens on Ethereum. The stablecoin's total supply has now tripled, exceeding 733 million tokens, valued at 733 million. The growth of PayPal's stablecoin on Solana has been fueled by its integration into decentralized exchanges like Jupiter, Orca, where PayPal stablecoin has been added to liquidity pools. Coinbase is coming out with their own version of wrapped Bitcoin on the Base chain. And actually, speaking of Coinbase, the crypto giant has
get rid of them wrapped Bitcoin. I hate that wrapped shit.
Has resumed its operations in Hawaii, ending a 7-year absence. According to a Bloomberg report, the return to Hawaii comes following notable adjustments in local regulatory guidance, which prompted Coinbase's renewed interest in serving the residents of Hawaii, home to approximately 1.4 million individuals. Citizens of Hawaii can now engage in cryptocurrency trading and participate in staking activities to earn interest on their digital assets. Coinbase's departure from Hawaii in 2017 was primarily attributed to the state's requirement for digital asset businesses to hold a money transmitter license and maintain fiat reserves equivalent to the total value of digital currency funds held for customers. However, this barrier was lifted at the end of June. Grayscale starting new altcoin funds. We reported to you yesterday, BitTensor and Sui. Grayscale just launched an investment fund for MakerDAO. Aptos is crushing.
BitTensor is one of them ones that I wish it was easier for me to buy.
It. Yeah, they're not as big as Ethereum or Base, but they're nipping on its heels, and there's a lot of room for growth. Aptos Tech is crushing it. Yesterday saw 50 times more daily transactions than Ethereum, 10 times more transactions than Base. Bots or not, as this is a permissionless network after all, let's be honest, how many chains could have handled a spike like that? Aptos handled the volume surge without skipping a beat. LFG. Injective and Ton blockchain becoming interoperable, bridging, partnering like this. So much is happening in crypto, my friends. Subscribe to our channel.
Crazy. Shout out to Altcoin Daily for that video. All right, let's get into the recap segment of things. Anybody just joining, let's see what we got. Bitcoin 58,383 bucks, down 2% now. We have Ethereum at 2,600 even. Solana is at 139 bucks. Man, if those ETFs are really starting to pop for Solana, it could be a good opportunity. It could be, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news type deal, my opinion, but who knows? We'll see. XRP 56 cents, 88.32 cents. We got Litecoin. Look at that, 66.5 cents. Damn it, why did I swap this into near? What is happening? Idiot, stupid. Worth it later on in life, hopefully. All right, Caspa 16.5 cents. We got Dogecoin 10 cents. Let's see what else. BNB 519 bucks. Panda, what's up, bro? Good to see you, dude. Yeah, Mr. Duck Breath is in the house. We were talking about your duck embryo that you ate, you nasty son of a. All right, moving on. Let's see. Crypto bubbles. What do we got over here? HTX. HTX. This exchange airdrop probably is what's happening with this. Rank 63. Don't know what this is. Did Chump just say Litecoin was 66 bucks? Yeah, it is. It is $66.5. There it is. There it is, Panda. It is making money. Actually, you know what? The miners actually are probably doing pretty well now. Let's refresh this, just see. What's the L9 saying now? L9, where we at? 12 bucks a day, 12 and a half. Where is the L7? L7 90.50. Oh wait, shit. Is the price? No, yeah, it's still 10 cents. 10 cents per kilowatt hour. All right, $3.42. I don't think it changed much actually. To be honest, most of the profits on these things are Dogecoin anyways, and Dogecoin's doing shitty, so you know what I mean. One goes down, one goes up, it stays the same type deal. You know what I mean? Not a big deal. All right, flashbang, fear and greed index. Again, anybody just joining, 27 right now. Definitely a good buying opportunity regardless. I think LTC is definitely undervalued, and I try to typically go after coins that are about 80% down or so. It makes a lot of sense for bigger gains when things pump. Those are the ones that'll at least get you, 2, 3, 4x easy, right? I think Litecoin's got a good chance to get back to its all-time high eventually, but who knows when? We'll have to see. All right, guys, listen, I got a bunch of stuff that I gotta get doing, and my mouse is going crazy right now. What is happening? I hate when that does that. All right, you guys have a great, happy, and safe Friday. I forgot. I gotta leave you guys with this. I can't leave you without it. Give me a second. Let me pull this up here. There we go. You guys know it's Friday. We got to get going. All right. Have a good day. I'll catch you guys bright and early. I lied. Next week, I'm probably not going to be around, but I will see you guys tomorrow night on Mr. Mining Saturday Night Live, most likely. And until then, peace out and have a good day. I'll see you guys soon.
Time to that old Silk Road.
We gotta start it over. Start it over. Here we go.
Add crypto to my portfolio. I wanna hold until I can't no more.
Have a happy and safe Friday, everybody. And remember, like Brandon Coyne would say,
if she don't hawk to her, we don't talk to her.
Peace, peace.
Huck to and spit